back. We back. We are back. As you can see, we have narrowed down all the wires, labeled them, and narrowed them down. Labeled them and narrowed them down. Now, again, there's still some in here that leads to absolutely nothing. As far as nothing as in nothing I need to run the Super 10 S10. Like there's literally three wires that run from fuse panel over to this that runs inside the cab of the truck. Got my speed, ignition, and then, like I said, I labeled them all, pulled every pin, and labeled them all. Vehicle speed, tag, engine light, OBD2 port. What else we got here? It's OBD2, AC request, all that. And then like certain ones I know I'm not going to need. There's going to be some ignition wires that I'm not going to need. So I'm not really too concerned of those. I did get, if you're going to run the 4.3 radiator and you're going to run the trans cooler with it, or the transmission cooler / radiator with it, you need to get the Summit 22067B. I know the numbers flipped because the cameras flipped. But get those. They're AN style. They fit right in your radiator. Speaking of radiators, I'm going to switch the camera around. I'm going to show you how we got the radiator sitting in there as well. 6.0. Now, yeah, the radiator as well. Then I'm going to show you the fans. I'm going to show you the fans. I'm going to drop them in, show you how much clearance we got on that. But in order for me to do that, I have to move these wires that I don't need, remember? I'm still got, there's a couple grounds here. I'm definitely going to ground them. All the wires I'm going to try to run below the radiator. This here, man, I don't know what this is. I think it goes to, I don't know what it goes to. It's some kind of hot wire and another wire. And I don't know what they go to. I don't know. It doesn't say, it didn't say in there, so yeah. I'm gonna switch the view for y'all, show y'all the radiator recess. Radiator is recessed, as you can see it right here. You also see the shadow on the camera. But originally, as you can see, the radiator would set like so. Actually, a little further out. Right there. That's where the radiator would set. Right there. But now that we've done a little bit of clearance on the core support, you have to do that for the 4.3. And then with everything I've been reading, they say the 4.3 is plenty to keep your engine cool. So, and then I'll show you these fittings I was talking about as well. There we go. Right here is for the coolant, trans cooler right here. And then the other one will go right here. I gotta remove that up. Remove this one. And then, like I said, the radiator pops in here. Uh-oh, that wire I was talking about, I don't know what it is in the way. There you go. The radiator pops in here like that, right? No problem. Then I've got Intrepid fans. Everybody says use Intrepid fans. Bowtie Boneyard apparel here. This is where the motor came from. But everybody says use Intrepid fans, and that's what I got. I gotta clean them up. Clean these bad boys up. Clean them up. Small, sleek. One, it protrudes out a little bit, but I think it's going to clear. And this dude goes like this, y'all. Goes right in here. And I really believe, there we go. Right there. You see it? I don't know. Let me get y'all a closer view here. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to make some kind of little bolt-on bracket or something to hold them in. I think I'm gonna go right here. They got these little tabs on them where they mount it. I'm gonna drill and put a little self-tapper or something right here to hold the top in. And then maybe just a little bracket for the bottom. But for the most part, as you can see, I'm gonna have to just do it like this. As you can see, these fans clear the water pump, clear the power steering pump. Let me get that part number for y'all too, for the power steering pulley. And then you see the bracketry. The bracketry we got here, AC, sanding, is it the 508? 507, 508 sanding compressor, and then ICT style compressor bracket with idler. I did switch this over. Remember before they were wrong. And then of course the offset bracket for the alternator. Otherwise the alternator might sit up a little higher. Yeah, it's coming along, man. I do have to, I'll try to put this camera somewhere so y'all can see what I got going on here. Now the radiator hose. The bottom radiator hose, I think I can get away with the 4.3 one. The top radiator hose, this is just a spare one I got laying around. Top radiator hose I'm gonna have to do some whittling on, as you can see right here. Go here and then cut it down, and then you have a vent tube. Remember, you have to have a vent for the heads. I'll cut the radiator in two right here, make this line shorter. Put my vent tube in here. It's got a 5/16 line that runs over to this little vent tube. Yes. Now here's the this splitter. I'm calling it the hose splitter. I'm gonna put in the hose, and then right here, goes this. And then this will go to the vent tube. That allows for it to vent. You know, that purge or whatever it's called for the heads. The vent for the heads. Yeah, that's what that'll do. So on the heads. And then our neutral safety switch. Remember, we was jumping that out to get it to start. We got a new one of these. Oh, we got them V-bands, y'all. Evil Energy V-bands. Now, there's a difference now. Like I was telling y'all, there's a difference. Look at this. Male, female. Put them together. They lock. They lock. They're supposed to be 2.5. Anyway, these are for the exhaust. Get the exhaust put on. You don't have to cut everything up to get them off. If need be, put these on here. Fuel filter regulator, Corvette. Fuel filter regulator. Corvette style. They use everywhere on LS swaps. Everybody uses them. Right? Right? S10. Fuel filter regulator. Ain't that crazy, y'all? Ain't that crazy? They look the same, don't they? They regulate the fuel pressure. So the Corvette style fuel filter regulator, plus put our pressure where we need it. And we got transmission dipstick. It's gonna be fun trying to snake this thing in there to get that down in there, man. It's gonna be fun to try to snake this transmission dipstick down inside behind that firewall. You know we're already tight, right? You know it's already tight. But it's not the you know, a steel one. This is a flexible one. With this, man, when y'all get these, don't get that flat. The one's got a flat head on it like that. That's flat like the oil for the transmission. They're not very user friendly. We'll just put it that way. They're not. This one here, it follows and there, and it also locks in. So we'll snake that in. Snake in that. But back to the power steering. You have to run, to my knowledge, you have to run the 300-202 pulley, which is considerably smaller than the factory. The reason being is so you don't hit the steering box. Right? These are all parts that go into it. And then to give you more clearance for headers and manifolds, you go ahead and get that steering shaft, double D steering shaft. 300-202 Dorman parts right here. Right here. And it's steel. You want the steel one. You want the steel one. You have to use some washers or something of that nature to press it on to get it on right. And you have to be careful because you could push this one on way too far. Way too far. And then you're back stuck to pulling it back off like the other one. So we went ahead and went with a new power steering pump. The old one we didn't even mess with, so I'm gonna go ahead and return that one for my core. But we did put a brand new pump on it, or a remanufactured pump. We got this part here. Man, we've got the parts. Now I need to put everything together, make it happen. Finally got the other stuff being shipped in. All right, for your ECM, man. 2002, 2000, 2001, they're gonna have the same looking ECM as LS. Man, go get you these trays. You mount that tray inside here somewhere, and your ECM, your engine bay looks a little more presentable, I guess. I mean, everything, as you can see, it's starting to get a little crowded. It's starting to get a little crowded in this engine bay. And I still have yet to put a breather or some type on. Tube or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do there. I mean, this is not gonna stay. The mass airflow does not stay there. So, and then like I said, the radiator hose, I'm gonna try to cut it and make everything try to fit up against this core support with the hose. Like I said, it's a spare hose. I can use this as my template. But I'm going to try to get everything to sit up against this core support as tight as possible as far as radiator goes. And then that maybe will give me a little more room to get some type of cold air intake to run right here. Run over here. So, I mean, most cold air intake tubes are 4-inch. I've got some the plastic stuff. Both is 4-inch. What we got right here between there? Woo, man, we don't have it, y'all. We do. We do when if I mount the radiator like I want, or the fans like I want, we'll have it. I think that I'm gonna have to go inside and do a little more whittling on this core support, get the radiator to go back in another 1/4 inch. I need the radiator to come in another 1/4 inch. And then, like I said, as far as the bottom hose, I'm gonna use the 4.3 bottom hose. And that'll be it, man. That'll be it. Drive shaft. We have a drive shaft. I think we ended up overall with 51 inches. I was thinking 53, which was a stock drive shaft. But the 51 is gonna work. '51 is gonna work. I got a 51 inch drive shaft, drive shaft, and I think that we're gonna be all right, y'all. It's tight, mind you, it's tight. Of course, it is a small engine bay. Now, as far as this fuse panel set up here, I'm gonna leave it in its place. I'm just gonna get rid of the wires we don't need, which I've already done. There's some down in here that I don't need, but I got the cover for it, so it'll look fine. It'll be all right. And then, coolant reservoir. The factory coolant reservoir would work if I wasn't running that style AC bracket. It would work, but since I'm running that, it gets right in the way. So we're just gonna run a little small bracket of some type and be good with it, man, and be good with it. The Super Dime is ready to hit the road this week, man. Y'all be on the lookout this week for the update of us doing some pulls, because this being stock, we just go in and delete, rear O2s. We go in and delete rear O2s. What else? The VATs, EVAP. All the things that's gonna try to hinder it from running. We'll go into ECM and turn all those things off. Turn our fans on, and boogie, baby, boogie. So, as far as getting it out on the street, man, that should be a no-brainer. Should be easy. The belt, I have no idea what size belt I'm gonna need, guys. None. So I'm going to take a string, wrap it, measure it, and take it to the store and see if I can get one to fit. That's where we're at on that. Yeah, I'm pumped, y'all. I'm pumped. My first ever S10, and it's turning out pretty well, I think, in my opinion. It's turning out pretty good. The S10 headers that people talk about, will they fit? I don't know. We have LS1 manifolds laying around, so that's what we're using. And they're not a long tube, but they're a tube. We'll just put it that way. So, they're not in the S10 manifolds. They're not the heavy, what we call the heavy truck style at all. They're not. They hug the motor pretty good. So they definitely are going to work for what we're trying to do here. Definitely. So what do we need to do, y'all? Give you a cap. Give you a rundown. A checklist. A checklist. I need to put a checklist right here. I've noticed a lot of people do that. We got radiator, transmission coolant lines, dry shaft, belt, wires, power steering pump pulley. I think that's it. And plug in my fuel line. That's it. Plug in my fuel line, and that's it, y'all. We got it, man. We are on the way to firing this thing up, man. I was wanting to have it done this week, but you know how that stuff goes, man. Next week, Lord willing, we will have this thing off the jack stands, backing it out, seeing what she will do. Yes, I'm not mad about it. So, and we, in the background, man, we doing other things, y'all. We doing a whole lot of other things, man. So I'm trying to juggle way too much at way too many times. That's on me. That's on me. And I do have the power steering plumbed. I do have the power steering plumbed. I do have everything. Like I said, y'all heard it run. Y'all heard it run. So the fun part is going to be to make sure that my speedo, everything else I feel like is going to work. The only thing that I feel like that I might have be running, wondering and stuff is my speedo. Because I always, me and that speedo wire, communication wire to the dash on the speed is, you know, we don't get along sometimes. And then, like I said, I got a vent, my tube. I got a tube. Let's see if it'll fit. Of course, I'll cut it. All I need to do is fit in between here, right? Right? It has to fit in between here, like it does. So I think we'll be fine there as far as cold air tube. The cold air intake goes. I think we'll be fine. Yeah, courtesy of Austin Brothers Racing here. I would like to go, let's see what this do. Now there's a lot, I'd like to use this versus this. But, I don't know. Yeah, man. Courtesy of Austin Brothers Racing right here. We're going to use it on the Super Dime. On the Super Dime, y'all. On the Super Dime. So y'all definitely stay tuned, man. Definitely hit that like, hit that subscribe if this is your first time here. On the Super Dime, this is your first time here. And if there's any other projects that you like in my catalog, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe for that as well. If you have any questions, I generally try to answer all my comments, man. I generally try to like all my comments, good or bad. So, yeah, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up, and share. Super 9, baby. And we need a name for it, remember? Be blessed. Stay blessed. Swaps out.